Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Barber Block. And today we have another outstanding guest. And just want to welcome you to the Barber Block, where we're talking to real barbers, real people, and real talk here. We're here to share, to inspire, to educate, and just have a good time and just learn more about people's stories and see how we all can connect to them and see how we can add value to the community and just, continue to uplift each other. And so today I want to welcome a special guest. He's done some things with Leonetti's Barber Supply in the past, and I'm excited to have him here on the episode now. And so help me welcome Dre the Barber.
Nah, I appreciate it, man. Honestly, it's humbling because the simple fact is I met J.Y. on the south side.
Yeah.
And I think the first shop I met him at was Cutmaster Joe's.
Yes.
Still doing what he's doing today,
Yep.
but on a whole nother level. This was before y'all had Leonetti's. This was when it was only Get Sassy, and he was the main guy just delivering.
Out of the Honda.
And out of that, I think if I was correct, it was like a copper goldish Honda.
He's had a couple, yeah. So, yeah.
So it's just an honor to be here, man, just because, like you said, the simple fact of being able to grow with y'all.
Yes.
But also y'all seeing my growth. It's more than just, we here because of Instagram. Like, this is a real relationship that's turned into friendship, into business-ships, into what it is today.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we are grateful that you are here. So let's just get right into it, and let's just talk about what inspired you to become a barber. What were you doing before you became a barber? And we'll just start there, and then we'll continue on with your story.
So it's gonna sound crazy because I was doing it before I even had a license.
Yeah.
So I got inspired. A lot of people don't know this, but I'm gonna shout out my cousin's husband.
Okay.
He was in high school cutting his own hair.
Yeah.
I was the main dude for quinceañera, and he was gonna be the barber. No license, just cuts hair.
Yeah.
He inspired me. And I told my dad, I was like, if he can do it, I can. My dad thought it was a joke.
Yeah.
So it's about 8th grade, 7th going into 8th grade, where I go to Mexico. Live out there with my grandparents. Rest in peace, my grandfather. He was the first haircut I ever did in my life.
Wow.
I'll never forget it. It was a 4-guard on some Conair clippers in Mexico. And he's like, just all even. And the funny part about that story is I said, do you want a lineup? And, this is Mexico, straight rancho, like, you know what I mean? Like, we like what it is.
Yeah.
He's like, a lineup? What's that? But in Spanish, I'm like, it's like a box. He's like, I don't want no damn box on my head. And then when I finished, he loved the cut. He's like, you're a natural.
Yeah.
Come back. I tell my dad, I'm ecstatic. I'm like 11, 10 years old.
Yeah.
And my dad's like, so what do you want to do? We go to Costco. I'm selling candy bars at school, raising up money, and he buys me my first set of clippers. There were some Conair detachables at Costco. I don't know if you remember them. You had the cutting blade, the trimmer, and I think it was like a design blade.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Those were my first clippers ever. And then it turned into me cutting my own hair, my brother's hair, everybody in the neighborhood's hair. And it got to a point where I'm cutting hair from 7th grade, 8th grade to 18 years old without a license.
Wow.
But I'm learning through YouTube.
Yeah.
Doing designs on myself. And the crazy part was I was doing everybody's hair. I wasn't just coarse hair, straight hair. It was, you need a haircut?
Whoever.
I got you. Whoever.
Everyone can get it.
And the crazy part was the barbershop on 48th Street in Southern. And I know we on camera. They're going to be mad at me. I think the original owner that I knew passed away. They were questioning who's taking our clients.
Oh, wow.
I'm cutting up the whole high school. I'm going to school with a little Patron box with clippers in there senior year. And the crazy part is a lot of people don't know that Dre the Barber, I didn't self-name that.
Okay.
That was a name given to me.
Okay.
So when I tell people how my story real quick of how I got that name was all back into middle school, grew up in, 40th Street Southern, all Southside ran, went to school in Tempe High, right? So my real name's Andres. Mm-hmm. And this is at the time where you might remember where blacks and Hispanics were getting along, but it was still hard to pronounce certain Hispanic names. So it'd be like Andres, try to make it into a joke. I was like, just call me Andre. So it turned into Andre.
Now you're black.
Pretty much. And then after that, we started rapping.
Yeah.
This high school year, a lot of people know I freestyle for fun.
Yeah.
We start rapping. They're like, man, you need a rapper name. So my nickname or rapper name at the time turned into Young Dre.
Young Dre.
But it was YUNGDRE.
Okay.
Now it's about sophomore year. I meet this girl named Rolina. I'm a big flirt in high school. And I told her, I was like, I need a nickname for you. She's like, well, they call me Roro. I said, all right, then, you're going to be Roro. She says, what's your name? I said, Dre. She's like, I'm going to call you Dre. So now we went from Andre to Young Dre to Dre. And then all my friends like, we're not calling you Dre. We just going to call you Dre. And then the word gets around that everybody's getting these fresh designs. Shout out to Lolo Barber because we come from the same school, same time. He's 1 year older than me. Mm-hmm. So the main two guys, and even DB was involved. DB's from that same area. Some of the dopest barbers that you guys probably see on the Instagram now.
Yes.
We're from that same era.
Yes.
I was a junior. He was a senior. DB was already graduated. DB was working out of Monos. And it's crazy how life works because now everybody's like, who cut your hair? Dre. Dre who? The Barber.
Dre the Barber.
And since then, I say about my junior year, that's when the name got established. Because the following year, Instagram came out. I pretty much downloaded Instagram because I was following a girl on MySpace. She said, download Instagram. It's the next hot thing. I download Instagram. I put Dre the Barber. This is the crazy part. I was the first original. I was like, this is whack. Who would have known what it is now? I would have kept the original name. So eventually the name on IG came to Dre the Barber in 93, but that name was given to me. It wasn't self-proclaimed, none of that. So all that ties to where who I am today got inspired by my cousin. First haircut was my grandfather, and then just the neighborhood, just seeing my skill set level. Mm-hmm. And let's be real, some were coming to me because I was affordable. I was charging $5 when everybody was charging $7, $8. Designs were $10.
Those were the days.
Oh man, we done going from $5 to charging now base minimum adult cuts from me $50. Yeah, I tell people it's a journey. It ain't just straight out the gate. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because it comes a lot to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the little backstory of how we are today.
Man, that's crazy how your name just sort of develops based on your lifestyle and the things you do and how people know you. And so at what point did you decide to go to barber school and to get licensed? And then what happened after that?
So the crazy thing is Floss Vegas, or Floss the Barber that everybody knows, I work with him now. Yep. I was working at Food City. I'm pushing carts. I'm about senior year. I'm outside. I'm like, hey, bro, look what I can do. He's like, man, you cold. You got a license? I was like, no. He's like, go get your license. So I'm about 17, 18. But I was already planning on going prior, but I was like, maybe I don't need it. So when I met Floss, he's like, no, you need it to work in shops. Right. So Floss pretty much inspired me to go get my license. But it was already in train of thought because EVIT was around at the time. But they only offered cosmetology school. Mm-hmm. So I was like, I'm not going to go to Cosmo school. My mom's like, why not? I say, you want to be a young grandmother? Just being real. Just being real with it, And
all the options.
All the options. But, you're young. I'm 29 now. We talking about 10 years ago. So now it goes into that. And I go to Lance Styles Barber School. Crazy part was at the time when I came up, what was hard about Lamar was that there wasn't grants no more. So a lot of people don't realize that, and my instructors can tell you, for me, I got it out the slums. Yeah. Because my dad, the only thing my dad did, and I thank him for this, because the reason why I mention all these people is because if it wasn't for them, I'm not who I am today. And I tell people all this time, I'm not Dre the Barber without my clientele. Right. I could be gone today, but y'all could find somebody new. Right. But I'm not me without the individuals. Right. And this is prior to me meeting y'all. Yeah. So going into that, I go to barber school. I tell my dad, he's like, how much do you need to start? I was playing high school football, tore my ACL, college, everything gone. Yeah. So I dedicated them last 2 years, I want to say junior and senior year, to just cutting. But by the time I got to barber school, I already had a skill set from just doing it. And that's what people don't realize. You can go to school, but if you're not doing it, you're not going to get there. Right. And so once I got to school, I already had some skill set. My dad says, okay, how much you need? He's like, here's the $1,500. Boom. At that time, school was about $6,500, which we're talking about 2012. That's a lot of money. I think that's a lot of money, yeah. That's the equivalent of about $15,000 now. Right. And people are paying for that. And this is what is upsetting is The way I paid for my barber school was through tip money. I had all my clients that I was cutting at the house. All that money from, I dropped my job. I had just came back from living in El Salvador with my other grandmother. Mm-hmm. And I went straight to barber school starting that July of 2012. And while that time, I'm not going to put their business out there, but they believed in me. This was the first barbershop I worked without a license.
Okay.
Because I had to find a way to pay.
Right.
Crazy part, like I said, I'm charging $5 at the house. And this is what the school's charging.
Right.
I'm making a killing now because I'm charging $15, $20 a cut.
Right.
And this is, once again, the end of 2012. But me being an appointment barber, I did this way before it became a thing now.
Yeah.
Because I got so busy there that I'm following Instagram. Shout out to Los Cut It, A-Rod, before all these big names. Got a chance to network with them. And I'm like, yo, what are they doing? Right. I'm following all East Coast. And this is all happening while I'm in school.
Right.
Because I worked without a license. And for real, if the state board comes to me, I'm sorry, I done paid my dues. I paid my taxes. But I did work without a license. But that individuals, I thank them so much. And the only reason why I don't want to put their name out there is because I don't want nothing to happen to them.
Right.
But thanks to them, I was able to pay for my license.
Right.
And then years now down the road, you find out the state's offering grants, but barbers don't want to report what they're making, and
income.
You're killing it for the next generation of barbers who actually need it.
Right.
Because for me, like I said, not everybody has that skill set. Not everybody had the clientele coming into barber school. Some people, they just don't go because of the money.
Right.
So imagine I'm $3 tips here. I'm making $25 tips. Do the math by 5, $125 a week. Times 4, that's $500, and I'm paying out of just barber school. So that's the reason why I had to go into a barber shop.
Mm-hmm. You still needed to live, still survive, and pay some other bills and things like that. So you had to do what you needed to do. And
so all that, then eventually I get my license. And the crazy part is that's the first shop I worked. After I got my license, I remember they put me at 60-40. Okay. I got my license. They're like, you're 70-30. So first shop I worked was commission, and that's how I got through barber school. And that's what kickstarted it. Like it's a lot because it's all intertwined.
Right. So once you got out of barber school and, you're really already doing what you're doing now, you're just doing it legally, legitly, right? You got the paper and the certification to say that I belong here, that I'm here. And then what really propelled you next? What was your next step after you got your license? You're in the shop. Were you competing? What were some of the things that you did at that point?
So being in the game for so long, like I said, from 10 to now I'm about 19 when I got my license. Mm-hmm. That's 1 decade of just the skill set, the schooling, getting it legalized. I'll cut it up in 2 sets. The first 5 years and then the next 5 years. Okay. Because I'm about to enter 30. So the first 5 years, like I said, Instagram's popping. I'm looking at exotics hair battles. Yeah. I got pictures with A-Rod, Elliot, Pacino, Papito, Marcus. Met all these guys before they became who they are today. Right. But people didn't realize even Diego, what's his brother's name? His cousin, Faith something. Daniel Sins. I met some of the big names. You got Kool-Aid. They were coming to Arizona, but the thing was the game wasn't as big as it is now at that time. Yeah. So I'm doing all my searching, all my inspiration through Instagram. Okay. And so most of my following is literally from East Coast, Midwest. Okay. And a couple of West Coast, but I've always loved New York. Yeah. So the first 2 years, I'm at a shop. I didn't like it. I was like, some people got bad shops. I'm not a shop hopper, but it just happened to be like that because of the situations I was in. Mm-hmm. So the first shop, like I said, I got out of school. I didn't like how they were taking advantage of me. Mm-hmm. I'm bringing in the most money. I'm bringing in $25 cuts while everybody else is doing $15, $20. They cutting faster than me, but I'm doing the same amount or much more money. And then the animosity kicked in, where the owners people wanted to get cut by me. So at this time, I'm doing Beijing. I'm doing designs. I'm doing everything that the East Coast is doing that's later on coming 2-3 years later to Arizona. Right. So I'm ahead of my time. Right. I'm doing the barber battles. I'm going to the hair shows. And one day, I think I'm about 21. I'm like, I'll go on a trip to New York City. I'm like, you know what? I think I could do it out here in New York.
Mm-hmm.
That's later on in the next 5 years. Because in them first 5 years, I left that shop. I was unsatisfied. I was like, man, I don't know if I want to go back to the shop. I'm going to college, trying to get a business degree. I want to open up my own shop. I want to do this. I want to do that. And that's within the time that I'm getting close to y'all, because then I met JY.
Yeah.
The original owners at Leonetti's and everything. And JY's coming around. Fabio fixing the Clippers at the time before Get Sharp blew up.
Right.
So I've been around, but there's my moments that I just go MIA.
Yes.
and every time I do that is because I'm working on something.
Working on something. Something's about to pop off.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So now I'm at the house for about a couple months. I done build my clientele. They're following me. And I'm not feeling safe about it. Mm-hmm. Mind you, I've already built a little small shop at my house. A little chair, everything set up. And then finally, Delori, her shop no longer exists. This is the first shop I did boofering at. Okay. This is where I met Ahmad. And this is where the change of me being no longer just a Hispanic barber is out the door. Because this is an African-American owned barber salon.
Right.
And I'm the first Hispanic to work, and only Hispanic. But I'm doing everybody's hair.
Right.
So now we going through it. Delori had her things, and one day I was talking to him. I was like, man, shout out to God, because I was like, bro, I don't know what we gonna do. Next day, that's when Upscale comes along. Floss comes up and says, I'm gonna take both of y'all. Now we on the south side again, 35th. Went from the south side back to Tempe. After I went from the house, now the first 5 years. While I'm doing my tours and everything,
Yeah.
Now I'm 25. Now I'm with Upscale. Upscale Barber Salon, the first one, 35th Avenue in Southern, which I'm now back at. We've been open about 8 years. Mm-hmm. And this is where the fun stuff comes in. Within the first 2 years, I'm doing crazy traveling. Mm-hmm. Going to New York, going to Vegas, going to LA, and just doing some out-of-state personal that turned into me cutting hair. Mm-hmm. Puerto Rico, Canada, places like that. So I'm seeing all these different type of hairstyles, and people don't realize, like, it's more to what is just here in Arizona.
Right.
But what's crazy about Arizona is we have such a strong influences from the Midwest and East Coast that I feel that we're behind on the hairstyles that they enjoy.
Right.
Which is why we get bashed as barbers being from here. It's not because we don't got the skill set. It's because we haven't been exposed to it. And I tell people all the time, one thing about Arizona is we're kind of behind with the other major cities, even though we're a major city.
Right.
And that's where if you can understand that leverage, that's where your clientele and your barber capabilities expand. That's
what's going to set you apart.
Exactly.
Being exposed to the things that you can't get here in Arizona.
Because I'm going to call it right now, and I'll put on this. It's going to be about another 15 years once we become a staple for fashion, haircuts, and stuff like that. Because of the influences of these major cities. Atlanta, Chicago, Detroit, New York, Los Angeles, Vegas. They're all moving here.
Yeah.
So eventually the culture will be established through those influences.
Right.
But the problem is, as barbers in Arizona, is if we can see that, then we become the nomad for it. We become the groundbreakers for it.
Right.
And that's where at 25, I start having my families and have my kids. But I've been working on clip dart.
Yes.
25 to now, this is where the real fun began.
Okay.
I actually got a chance to work. Shout out to Fix Barbershop in New York, Harlem. 135th Street, Frederick Douglass, others known as 7th Ave. Mm-hmm. When I tell you going to work at a different shop outside of here, but it felt like home, was the craziest experience ever.
Really? Yeah.
Because we had people from Love and Hip Hop up in there, Benny Single, all them famous people.
Yeah.
Come up in there, and it's like nothing.
Everyday people.
Everyday people.
Yeah.
Which is something that I noticed that Arizona doesn't have yet. Mm-hmm. We still kind of somewhat get starstruck. And that's where, and I'll admit it, my problem with barbers now is that some of us as barbers, as a community, I feel we overcharge and our talent's not there. That's just being real.
Okay.
And that's making it difficult for clientele to even want to attempt going back to barbershops.
especially if you're coming from another city and you're used to a certain style that they can't find here. And I hear that a lot. And I see it posts in different groups and things like that about people coming here and they're complaining about that even stylists barbers are charging this amount, but they're not getting what they get, what they're used to back home. So there's a disconnect there. And maybe for those who are here, that pricing is fine because they know that it is what it is for here in Arizona. Yeah. So I could see that happening.
And so what I learned was $40 just for a basic cut. And this is just me. Anybody can correct me if I'm right or wrong, because inflation plays a big role.
Right.
Realistically, if your barber's charging you less than $50 an appointment, he's hooking you up. That's just being real. Inflation done killed it. So appointments should be $50. But I feel once you hit that 50 mark, you got to add add-ons. The steamer, the hot towel, or color enhancement. So they feel that they're getting more for their bang, and that's what's going to keep them coming back.
Right.
And so, just doing the barbering and seeing where it's gone, and with COVID, the thing that switched up that I did see back in 2020, and I've gone to schools, and this all correlates with Clip Dart now, because through Clip Dart, we're a movement. We improve mental wellness through a haircut practitioner. And so what we do is we have an app, and our main target is for people who want a mobile cut at an affordable price. Most barbers says, well, that's not no money. There's a whole untapped market at colleges where students can't make it because of either the car or the money. They can't pay. But on this app, we come to you, right? Now we have the give back portion. That's what I post a lot about. And on that one, pretty much we give our neighbors in need free haircuts while the barbers get paid hourly. And right now, I'm averaging about $50 an hour.
Even doing the give back.
The give backs. Because that's the thing. We want to make sure barbers get their pay, but it comes with a huge responsibility. You're still giving out quality cuts, even though they're getting it for free.
Right.
And so that's the blessing, because you're helping a whole nother community that can't get service. I'm Skid Row's barber along with Diablo Dave. David Rodriguez. Right. And a couple more people on the team, because we're actually international. We got people in Chicago, Wisconsin, the UK, San Diego, Sacramento, Nevada. It's growing.
Right.
But the mission is to improve mental wellness. And this all correlates because I had to go to schools to go find barbers who would be interested. And going back to the last statement is the problem is instructors have told me, I don't know what these students think, but they feel entitled. They feel entitled out the gate charging this much. They feel that I need but we done earned our stripes.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm not against nobody charging 100. If you getting it, you getting it.
Right.
But don't gyp somebody, because I'm the type of barber, I'm in it for longevity.
Right.
I'm trying to develop an avenue for more barbers. And that's where Clip Dart came in for me. Because the shops, if you got a great shop like Lefties, AGs, Upscale, what other big names can I think of? I think they Fresh something. It's a Hispanic owner.
Fresh Cuts.
Yeah, Fresh Cuts. It's not like before no more. The game done changed.
Yeah.
The game went into having big shops to now being medium-sized shops to suites.
Yeah.
And I think that's why there's a miscorrelation here between barbers, clients, pricing, education, and knowledge. Because nobody knows the avenue to pick. It's very, so many avenues you can do.
Right.
But just because you can do it doesn't mean you're going to be good at it.
Right.
And that's what makes this career so dope, because while I was young, I said, do I want to be a celebrity barber? I was the Rattlers barbers for a couple of years. I've done Suns players, all that. That don't pay my bills.
Right.
If you're the lucky one, like TCO, who's got all the celebrities, shout out to him, keeping the Phoenix Suns players and a couple other people. But that's not the reality. We got to treat our regular people as those celebrities.
Yeah.
Because if them celebrities lose that money, are they still going to pay you $100? Right.
Or they get traded, or, move on to another city. They come and go. I know we get a lot of influx of celebrities when things are happening here in Phoenix, and that might be a one-time shot, and then what? What's next?
And so that's, for me, is like, if that's your avenue, that's not for everybody. That's why I said shout out to TCO, because he made a career out of that.
Right.
But we're not all TCOs. But that doesn't mean we're not as good, or I'm not going to say or better, because we all, barbering is art.
Yes.
You got Leonardo, and then you got Da Vinci. Which one you like?
Right.
It's not about who says it. It's the clientele. Mm-hmm. And the crazy thing, Mar, is that I realized to do 1 million heads, it's a numbers game. It's going to take you about 50 plus years to do that.
Wow. Yeah.
And you can only cut that individual one time. So we got to take care of our community, because they're who makes us. That's why when COVID hit, it irked me as nerves. Why are they shutting us down?
Right.
We're the original therapists.
Right.
We are the reason why some people don't kill themselves. As crazy as that could be off the board.
Right.
It's the truth, because some people's only friend is their barber. Is their stylist.
Yeah.
But because as a community of stylists and barbers, we forgot the importance of influence that we have on the community. This is why they don't find us important.
What do you think that the caused that, or what are they thinking now? The importance, or new barbers, their significance in the community is. What do you think?
You see how I'm dressed. I got the change, the gold watch, the jewelry. Looking nice. Let's be real. Everybody thinks this is like a rap career. Mm-hmm. We get to live the lifestyle we want, get the cars we want, and it's cash money, so it's lucrative. Mm-hmm. People don't realize that when you put that barber pole to your name, you are part of world history. Mm. We are the first respected career, and we're the second oldest profession in the world.
Right.
And those that don't know, the first one is prostitution.
Right.
So that, if you can't uphold that standard to understand you are history, you are making history, and you are a part of the future, then we got a problem. Mm. Because it's not about the money. It's not about, oh, look what I got. Look how many followers I got. The Instagram phase, that social media phase, is done with. You can't make money off of that no more. Mm. So why are we all trying to act like celebrities when we just cut hair when it comes down to it? Mm. We are meant to make people feel good, look good, and feel better about themselves.
Yeah.
Through our skill set, through our art.
This episode is brought to you by Leonetti's Barber Supply. We've been in the barber supply business since 1968, helping barbers deliver their best haircuts. We're located at 1633 East McDowell Road, Phoenix, Arizona, 85006. We've got everything you need. We've got your clippers, we've got your trimmers, we've got your disinfectants, everything you need to help you deliver your best haircut. Now let's get back to this episode.
And if we're not doing that, we're falling away from what we're originally about.
The purpose.
The purpose. And I think that's the biggest disconnect. That people see a lot of money, a lot of easy money, but it ain't easy.
Right.
Mind you, 10 years old, 29, almost 20 years. It took me 20 years to make it look this easy.
Yeah.
And it's still hard for me. And that's just keeping it real.
Right.
Because I got to keep up to date with the new styles.
Right.
Because like one of your guys' posters says, barbers don't die, they fade.
Right.
You can fade at 30 years and your career start diminishing if you ain't up to date.
Yeah. Yeah. Word. That's real talk right there. What would you say to these younger barbers who are coming in the game? Because, previously, kind of when we started our business in the supply industry, what I noticed is that a lot of the barbers who were already established were either much older, mm-hmm. or they were getting into it because they were unemployable, right? Mm-hmm. Coming out of prison, coming out of whatever circumstance they were in. So they decided, like, you know what, this is a route I can take, regardless of whether they loved it, they had the passion for it. It was an opportunity for them to earn a living. Mm-hmm. And so now it's evolved and developed into this, becoming more trendy.
Like a facade almost.
Yes. And so what would you say to those people who are coming up, that's what they see? Like, you spoke about it, about the money, the lifestyle, and the way I see it now, once that it's definitely an art, right? Barber's an artist. I tried it. It didn't work out too well for me. Man, I can't do this. This is definitely art. So I have more respect for the skill set, for the talent, and especially if you're working at the craft, and you got some of the newer barbers who they're getting into it because of the trend. How do you, I guess, what advice would you give them in that regard?
I guess for me, because at a young age, I already knew kind of what I wanted to do. Rest in peace, my mother, but she wanted me to go to school. I was always, in the sense, the black sheep. I'm going to do something different. And since you guys know me, that's what I've always been about.
Yeah.
I'm a break barriers when it comes to the racial shops, Hispanic and black. Nah, I've worked in both.
Yeah.
And I love both just the same.
Yeah.
But I have my preference because of where I feel at home.
Right.
Designs. I'll go outlandish with it. If I could get to rob the original status, if it paid my bills, I'm doing it. Right. But it's not paying my bills right now. So with all that being said, now coming into the whole clip dart, creating an avenue for a lot of barbers want to give back.
Yeah.
My best advice for upcoming barbers is to find longevity. And if you're young, like how it was for me, when you're 18 and you probably can stay at home and you don't got bills to really worry about, try different avenues. Invest in your craft. Because if you're married or in a serious relationship, this is the best example I could put it. It's going to take work every day.
Right.
It's going to take investment every day in an all aspect area. That's how the barbering is. You got to look at her, and I call it a her because you got to see her as your wife or as your spouse, because what you give this game or this career is going to multiply it. You just got to be patient enough for the time frame when the game says you're ready.
Yeah.
So if you want to be a celebrity barber, you need to go where the celebrities are at. If the celebrities are not in Arizona, then you got to go move somewhere where you're going to find celebrities.
Right.
If you want to be a blue-collared barber that's doing the 9-to-5s, look for a barbershop in that area that caters to them individuals. If you want to be a design barber, educate yourself and pay these seminars. How are they doing this? And so on and so on. Because the reality is not everybody's blessed to be multi-talented in barbering.
Right.
If you're great at fading, market that. Find your niche. The moment you find your niche, that's what you work on, and then you're going to find your success. But if you don't find your niche and you're always floating, I want to do this, I'm going to keep it real. It's going to be very difficult,
right? And
you're going to quit.
Right.
I've seen barbers to this day that I started with at Latin Styles Barber School. I think about 20 of us. Out those 20 of us, only 5 of us made this into a career where we don't need another job. We don't need another source of income unless we wanted to.
Unless you want to. But this is what I see is that you've built this career, and it's really just a springboard to what's happening next, right? And who knows what's after that. But if you can just kind of give us a little bit more about Clip Dart, tell us exactly what it is, and if people are interested, or this is your promo time. So go ahead and shout that out.
Promo. It's a lifestyle. So pretty much Clip Dart, like I said, it's a movement.
Yeah.
It's a 3-pillar organization. Our mission is to improve mental wellness through a haircut practitioner, whether it's a barber or stylist. And the goal was Kyle Parker, my business partner. He was in the middle of nowhere when he was playing basketball. I want to say state of Iowa. A lot of people don't realize the emphasis that they put on the hair industry in corporate America.
Yep.
Quick Trip, the military. Most jobs, you got to be trimmed. You got to look a certain way. So just think about the impact, but they don't realize the significance of that impact. When he was playing, he couldn't get a haircut. So he felt like he wasn't playing to his full potential because of how he felt. But he created the app. The app was to pretty much cater to minority students, to bring a barber to them at an affordable price, because most students don't have money. So that's why the app, we set $40. That's a price range that I came up with him at the time when we were in New York City. So that's the app where we can find a mobile barber. This is somebody, think of like Uber.
Right.
If your shop is closed, and we're not taking away from the shops. If you own a shop and you're like, we close at 7, but you got a young, hungry barber who's like, you know what, we charging $25, $30 a cut.
Mm-hmm.
It's itemized. So it starts at 40, and then the add-ons go up and up and up. And the thing about the app is that we keep a percentage, 20%, to market you. You don't have a monthly fee. The only time you get money taken is when you service somebody. But you keep 100% of your tips. So that's just for barbers who are more hungrier and want to be on the mobile aspect. And you get a 1099 form at the end of the year. We created that avenue for mobile barbers, legitly. We're the, like I said, similar to Uber, similar to DoorDash. Yeah. But we come to you, and you could be full-time or part-time. So you could actually select if you want to do it or not. The give back is kind of dedicated towards people that want to give back. We help out neighbors like the homelessness, people struggling with poverty, anybody who wants a free haircut or in need of a free haircut, by partnering with nonprofit organizations where the barber can get paid hourly and the clients or the people get service for free. And then we have the business partnership where we pretty much partner up with colleges, and same concept. We give their students free haircuts, and barber gets paid hourly. So it's a sense of income where people are like, well, you can make more at the shop. I get it. You can. I charge $50 a cut. If I work 8 hours at 50, that's $400.
Yeah.
But let's be real. Stop the cap. Everybody's not booked 24/7. I've been in the game 20 years, and I'm not booked every day, all day. There's seasons. Yeah. Yes, there's seasons. And even some of the off seasons my off seasons are weird now.
Yeah.
My summers are slow, and some years they're not slow.
Yeah.
Some seasons my holidays are slow.
Yeah.
Some seasons they booming.
Right.
That's the level when you know you made a career. But if you're following the wave, it's because you're still haven't found your niche. What we do is we're pretty much providing another avenue for barbers who want a secure income with, it's kind of corporate, but it's not corporate, because we want to build better barbers and understand that, yes, we get to do what we want to do. But when you really want to see this money, when you really want to change lives, when you really want to change your life, there's a reason why corporate America is successful.
Yeah.
And there's a reason why a lot of barbers can't get to the next level. It's not your talent.
Right.
It's not your people skills.
Yeah.
It's your mindset of how you look at business. So that's our pretty much clipped art in a nutshell.
Wow, that's amazing when you hear about companies with a purpose, and you have a mission to impact not only the barbers but also the community, to really truly make a difference in someone's lives. And man, that thing just sounds like it's going to be successful. That it already is. You already told us you're in international and across all these states. And how can they find you? Is it just it's an app, so you download the app?
So if you want to check out the app, right now we're only on iOS.
Okay.
Because it's in the startup phase. We became a nonprofit about a year ago, but we've been working on it for about almost 7 years now.
Yeah.
And it's been launched. Our launch date was 2021, February 14th for the app. That was official. So if you have an iPhone, we're waiting for the Android version, but things take money, takes time. But it's already on Android. You can download it on Android. Clipped Art, it's free. Literally, it is free. Easy to maneuver, easy to use. Think of like Instagram. There's a barber portfolio. And watch, I'll show you. See if I can. So that's on the, right here we go. Right there. Real simple. It's authentic. Everything's verified. All that. Sign in. The only thing is that we do run background checks. So, if you got something behind, unfortunate because you're going to people's homes.
Right.
But that doesn't, here's the crazy part. That doesn't exclude you
from doing other things.
The other things, the give back or the business partnerships.
Right.
It's just for the app. So you can be part of Clipped Art. We have a website, www.clippedart.com. Instagram, Clipped Art. Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn. All social media platforms. And it's just a beautiful thing to see and be a part of, because not only am I behind the scenes, but I'm also a friend. And I shout out to David because he's our AZ team lead. So David Rodriguez, he's also one of our business partners. So he helps us out.
Yeah.
He's a huge part because of this. I shout out to him. He's hands on in the trenches with me.
Yeah.
When we do this.
Yeah.
And, you know, like I said, it's for people who really understand that it's not about you.
Right.
This company is about everyone, the community.
Yeah.
And when we realize barbers, we have our own community, yes, but we're beyond that. We are part of a community within a community.
Yes. Man, this is just awesome, man. I love doing this. I'm really finding out more about people and, you know, their story and how they're impacting the community. And, you know, we've had some movers and shakers on this podcast, and man, you are one of them, doing your thing, and you know, I wish you much success in your ventures, and you know, however we can partner, you know, and get it done. You know, I'm here, and so I want to thank you for coming on the show.
Hey.
We appreciate you, man, always, and you know. Thank you for inspiring. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for educating and, you know, being a real barber, real person, real talk, you know, giving us the nuggets. And any last words you would like to say?
I'm put like this, and this is to a big bro of mine. He's in Georgia now. He told me what you see is what you get, and what you get is what you see.
Yep.
When we real to who we are, it's easier for us to fulfill what we're called to do.
Right.
And the reality is that's when you start meeting the people that are part of your journey.
Yes.
Because I know you like to glorify what I've been doing. Nah, man. Let's be real. Let's shout out to y'all. Let's shout out to the main people in Arizona who's been holding it down for barbers since y'all been in here. Started with Guest Sassy's. Y'all took over Leonetti's. And people fail to realize the impact you guys have done to our community.
Wow.
So not only is it, yes, we do it, but when we come to y'all, y'all upgrade it. Look at what y'all doing with the podcast.
Right. Yeah.
The barber shows, the ambassador program.
Yeah.
You may say you've tried cutting hair. That's just
that wasn't my avenue.
But the barbering is like this. It's,
right.
People don't realize it's $1 trillion industry.
Yes.
And you're part of barber history.
Yes.
And not only barber history, but you are a staple in Arizona barber industry.
Wow, that's amazing.
So I want to thank y'all for allowing me to just share what I got to say.
Yeah.
Because some people gonna like it. Some people probably gonna hit me up and say, "Oh, you name dropping." Let's just keep it real. Because that's what it's been about, and that's why I mess with Leonetti's, because Leonetti's isn't just a business. Mm-hmm. When you walk in through them doors, whether it's at Get Sassy's or any location, or even when y'all deliver, it's family.
Yes.
Because people know you guys more than some of the barbers that think they celebrities.
Right.
Let's just keep it real. So, thank y'all, man.
That's awesome to hear, man. I appreciate those words, and just to know that we're doing the right thing, and we're going to continue to do, you know, our mission, you know, to just bring more value to the community, you know, and just help continue to uplift. And so, you know, we're going to do it. And I want to thank you all for tuning in to this episode with Dre the Barber, you know, real barbers, real people, real talk. And hopefully you've gotten some value out of this and some encouragement, and knowing that there's more to barbering, that there's more beyond the chair. That you can do within this industry. So we thank you for tuning in to the Barber Block podcast.
Y'all know what it is.
Peace out.
All right, y'all.